Bitcoin mining rigs are cheaper than they've been in years. That gets me excited. But Bitcoin's price is a little lackluster lately. Electricity rates are on the rise and they're gonna keep on rising. And yet, I am either a genius or an absolute dumbass building out a Bitcoin mining farm right now. I personally needed to do this and I just figured I'd, make it into a video. I'm gonna be breaking down some of the recent adjustment in Bitcoin miner prices. What's the price per terahash and what that even means, but really what's the bang for buck? Is a Bitcoin miner worth buying right now? If yes, which one and at what electricity rates? Because while something may make sense for me, it may not make sense for you or vice versa. So, hey, Bitcoin's not going away. I'm really confident and bullish on Bitcoin long term, especially Bitcoin mining. My name's Vos. You're on the Voskcoin YouTube channel, home of our CBO, our Chief Bitcoin Officer, the fastest and the furriest, Mr. Tails, who's actually a girl, so she's not Mr. Tails. She's Miss Tails. And yeah, enough fluff. Get it? Let's jump into it. As always, nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not here to push on you. You do whatever you want to do. And I think when I last time went to my barber, they left my bangs too long. I don't even want bangs. I feel like I got bangs, I just want a little bit up here so when I, push my hair to the side, but whatever. This video is not a video about hair, so. Here's just one of the many Bitcoin mining profitability calculators. We've been mining with DX Pool and a lot of altcoins. They don't support Bitcoin mining. Just for reference, but they do, give you a calculator here for Bitcoin miners. I think it's simple, not too many miners here, kind of focusing on the ones I'm personally focused on. And we can ignore the Hydro miner. I'll talk about that more here in a second. The B2, never seen it. It's really a bit elusive, if you will, right? M30S plus, some of the worst naming we've ever seen for Whatsminer. And then I don't care if I beat this joke. They were like, hey, what should we call this miner? I don't know, what's miner? And then there you have it. Whatsminer. What's what's his name? It's Whatsminer. It's unbelievable. Who the f can every ASIC miner please hire me just to simply name their miners? We can come up with better things. My gosh. So we're really going to be focusing here on the S19 Pro and the S19 XP and also the S19. This profit calculator is based off 5 cents per kilowatt hour. Right, let's take a residential rate of about 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I haven't broken down the exact number yet because there's some various factors for me, but I'm probably going to be looking at 8 cents per kilowatt hour until I get my solar panels up and going with my personal mining farm. Nothing really all that impressive to write home about, but I'm building it where I want to, not where the best place to build a Bitcoin mining farm is, and I'm going to alleviate that issue by basically utilizing solar power and, trying to cut the power company out, because let's be honest, the greedy. So, looking at Bitmain, all right, and I just want to address this. I don't make any money when you buy Bitmain miners. I have a link in the video description below that literally just takes you to their site. It's not a referral link or something like that. Bitmain's never sent me a miner. I've got no relationship with them. I've actually reached out a couple times, but they don't care. But maybe they don't respond because I've been pretty open about the disgusting price gouging that they do with their miners. But hey, anyway. Not the point of today's video now, is it? Some people say I rant too much. Honestly, I'd say you might be right. So, looking at the S19 Pro, $6,000. So, obviously it's right here, but we got 110 terahash a second, 3250 watts, right? And so that's 29.5 joules a terahash. That's what all that means, right? Then we've got the S19, 95 terahash a second, 3250 watts. Putting us at 34.5 joules a terahash, right? Then we have the Hydro. And let's just look at the Hydro real quick because, it's intriguing, right? It's intriguing. Hydro units are water cooled. That's what, the hydro cooling aspect is, which means it's basically better cooling than air cooling. And you can really crank these things up. Look, it does 255 terahash a second, consuming an insane 5,300 watts. You're going to have difficulty even just powering that, say out of your home with the residential electric setup. Make sure you just kind of understand that and keep that in mind before you get into something that basically you shouldn't. They have the Hydro combo here. What exactly is this? Well, it's one of their shipping containers called Ant Spaces. It's jam-packed full of these. Basically, it's a plug-and-play mining unit, and they're ready to go right now. But if you just wanted to buy some of their Hydro miners off the shelf, Well, how about next year then, buddy? And that's still only at a bulk order. So looking at the S19 Pro here, per terahash we're paying 54 bucks. And the S19 per terahash we're paying 42 bucks. But we have an efficiency factor here. You get more density with these as well. And again, that's the S19 Pro. Keep in mind that there's also the S19 XP, which is the best one by far, but it costs $83 per terahash a second, but has much higher efficiency at 21.5 joules a terahash. This one interests me the absolute most, but it's very expensive, right? So basically you need to see, you know, how much is this going to eat into just your profits, right? The more you pay for electricity, the more it's going to just benefit you to get a more efficient model. The S19 XP at 8 cents per kilowatt hour, I'm making about $5 after I pay my electric bill. The electric ratio there, basically I'm spending 54% of my profits here, my revenue, on electricity, because it actually earns almost $11 a day mining Bitcoin. And then we look at the S19. This thing only pulls $1 a day at 8 cents, right? Spending 86% of the money it makes on electricity. S19 Pro, 74% of the money you earn, the Bitcoins you mine, going towards your electricity bill. Let's say I buy 3 S19 Pros. I'll be pulling about $6 after I pay the electric bill. And I could buy into those, right? Just to, you know, make sure I've got these numbers absolutely right. That would cost me 18 grand. At 18 G's, I could instead just buy an S19 XP. It would cost me 11, let's just call it 12 grand. I would be pulling $5 a day. I have one miner to deal with. There's a couple ways to look at it. One miner could go down, I lose all of this. 3 miners, I've got maybe 2 spare power supplies, right? We've got multiple hash boards. If a bunch of pieces fail on both of these, I could Frankenstein them and kind of combine them and get one, you know, well-running miner back up and running. There are benefits when you have multiple units. It may also depend on your electricity expected consumption. If you consume a bunch of electricity, you'll get a better rate. Electric companies do not reward efficiency. They reward volume. And it may make sense for me to get a bunch of these, and I could maybe negotiate for a better power deal, or pull in, say, 3-phase electricity. And with 3-phase, basically that's what most mining farms are built off of, without going on a whole tangent there. You should definitely check out our electricity guide if you're like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And if you don't know anything about ASIC miners, application-specific integrated circuit miners, watch our how to set up an ASIC miner video where I go over the basics of just everything. And it's not intimidating, it's not daunting, it's very easy, it's very simple. These things, you can control them from your phone, right? They all have remote dashboards. You can just use your laptop, whatever. You don't need to plug into anything and, like, you know, hack in like the, you know, mainframe. Danger demand unfold. No. You have a cable for power, you have a cable for Ethernet, which is your internet, and that's it, right? You log in remotely and you feed it, you know, internet, and you feed it some electric juice, and that's it. You're off to the races. Basically, don't be intimidated in that regard. But it's not just Bitmain ant miners, right? So obviously there's some Bitmain ant miners here, and the other big Bitcoin miner manufacturer, and they focus more on mining farms as opposed to consumers, where Bitmain deals heavily in mining farms as well as consumers. And that's the good old micro BT Whatsminer. So we see the M30S++ at 104 terahash at $6,000. This is from a reseller. This is from Coin Mining Central. We do make money if you buy through our link, and you also get a discount if you use our link down in the video description below. Again, not pushing this stuff on you. I'm just basically saying, I guess, this is a good way for me to just put the the price of these miners here. Because Whatsminer is very difficult to deal with, one-off orders. Their site sucks. Bitmain has a very good site, whether you love or hate Bitmain. So using this for reference, right? We got a bunch of different S19J Pro models. Let's just say we got the S19J Pro here at 104 terahash a second. We have the S19 Pro at 6 grand here, 110 terahash a second. On Coin Mining Central, we get one that is slightly less powerful and slightly less expensive, put it simply, right? We have the M30S++ at 104 terahash, also for $6,000. And let's bump this open and just look at the specs, right? So coming down here, we can see that this consumes about 3,200, and we'll just say the same thing, 50 watts, right? 3,224 to be exact. The key note here is simply that the power consumption is essentially the same, whether you have the S19 Pro or the S19, right? We have these specs, 110 and 95. So this literally falls right there in the middle. The price point is slightly more expensive than the S19 Pro. So looking at these, apples to apples, the S19 Pro is going to be a better buy. But with Bitmain, you always have to make sure they're actually shipping them. They claim to be shipping these out in 10 working days. There are some benefits though. You have to KYC with Bitmain, not a benefit, or you can just order off the shelf with Coin Mining Central. Your privacy may be very valuable to you. They say their typical dispatch time is 7 working days. I encourage you to contact them directly and get an exact estimate on any miners you'd want to buy. That way expectations are clear for all parties. And I've been focusing heavily on Bitcoin miners, right? But just to touch on altcoin miners, right? We'll look at Gold Shell here real quick. Again, I'm not pushing Gold Shell miners on you, whatever. But it's crazy to see some of these price drops. These things were selling for 40 grand just a couple months ago. Now listed on their site, shipped direct to you, 11 grand. KDBox Pro, a grand. LT Lite, a Litecoin Dogecoin miner, 2,000 bucks. The Mini Doge Pro with the power supply less than $400 shipped to you. That's really nuts. CK Box you could get for less than $200. That mine's a Nervos network. SC Box, Saya Coin, numerous Kadena miners, which we've talked extensively about here on the channel recently, among many others. I mean, you get the freaking LB box. This sold out because it's probably so cheap. But almost $100. That's crazy. What a cool gift. Get your cousin into mining, your nephew, your kid, whatever. People really forget about the hobbyist aspect, I think, too much when it comes to this. Like, how cool would it be to be young and to get a miner? That could change your life. That could put them on the path to really, start looking at financials, stocks, crypto, trying to make moves. It could set them up for huge success. They could be the next, big successful entrepreneur in that space, or even just get into the space and probably do very well. And above all, hopefully have a lot of fun and make a big just impact and have just some real meaning in this world. I mean, these miners are real simple. If you believe in those coins, check it out, get into it. You could look at the day-to-day mining profitability. There's a lot of different profitability calculators for that.
Hey guys, it's Miss Vosk. You've heard about play to earn games, but what about play to build? Meet Play Estates, a platform that allows users to play blockchain-based games, build their wealth, and earn fractional ownership of real-life real estate. Their goal is to bridge the connection between the digital metaverse and the physical world and link one of the fastest-growing industries to one of the strongest investment vehicles, real estate. To access the game and join the community, users can purchase an NFT using the link in the video description below. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research before investing.
We're focused on the BTC portion here, but a DX pool, which we've got a link out the DX pool down in the video description below. If you want to support the channel, I'm sorry, shameless plug. Jeez. Times are tough, man. You gotta use your boys' link to keep them around. But looking at the KD Lite, that thing pulls almost 13 bucks a day at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. And only 17% of the money you make, dollars you make, and you compute it that way, goes towards your electric bill. Keep in mind, we've been talking about dollars the whole video, but what you're actually mining is the underlying coin, right? So you're mining KDA, and this is, a computation, a conversion, I mean to say, to dollars. So this is like all great, fine, and dandy. You're like, well, why wouldn't I get that? Well, that's true. That's why I do a lot of altcoin mining these alternate cryptocurrencies, these coins other than Bitcoin, or as some people like to say, or they love to say, coins. The key point here, though, is that, this can be great and awesome, and you could make a killing, but you could also get blown up. Do you mind speculative coins? These things are very volatile. This thing could 10x next week, or it could go drop down 90%. Okay, the thing with Bitcoin is it's big, it's established, it's safe, it's going to be here in the long haul. Something you can sleep at night with. And but I guess really to round it out though is I'm stoked just to see these miner prices drop. The market conditions are a little tougher, kind of sucks, but it's cool to see just miner availability. Really refreshing compared to what we've seen over the last couple of years. I'm so exhausted of seeing so many comments here on the tube, about how I just talk about miners that are sold out. It's like, well, dude, welcome to mining in a bull market. Everything sells out because it's all stupid profitable. But these are still really good profitability numbers for a bear market, which may make you think crypto winter really sets in. It could get much more bearish, which means that the coins will be worth less and what you mine will be simply less. It will be tough. And we will continue to see more and more capitulation. There's less interest in mining, which is going to, I don't think it's going to really bring difficulty down too much. It's going to stagnate it some though, which is good for people that continue to mine. Mining difficulty is basically how many people, if you don't know, are trying to chomp at the same piece of pie, right? We're all trying to eat the pie. We're all trying to eat the Bitcoins that are mined every day, or these other different cryptocurrencies. The more people trying to eat, well, we're all going to eat less. And that breaks down to you getting less coins or simply making less money. The cryptocurrencies have to continue to go up in price to kind of keep pace with difficulty, or your day-to-day profits continue to trend down. Obviously there's tons of variables here. Time will tell. At the end of the day, you should really focus on just what you want to do, what interests you. If you don't make any moves, you'll never get anywhere. But forcing moves will also just evaporate your money. You could end up in really bad positions. So again, I'm not forcing anything on you or pushing it, or as people love to say these days, shilling it. Yeah, I'm not shilling it. I'm just personally doing this and running the numbers myself very heavily right now. And building out the core component. I think I'm going to have a rule of thumb. Basically, like 50% of my electricity, or maybe even just investment, is going to go towards Bitcoin miners. And then the other 50% is going to go for altcoin mining. With the way that KDA has been trending, I'm definitely going to have a good chunk. I'm very kind of hopeful and excited for that. But I'm also going to build out every other cryptocurrency that's pledged itself to continue to be proof of work and be mineable. The last thing I want are any just dead weight where these things can't mine anything anymore, like we've seen with some ASIC miners over the past. What makes these ASIC miners so powerful is they are literally just an industrialization of a chip that only mines a specific mining algorithm, right? Like a Bitcoin miner can't mine Ethereum, and an Ethereum miner cannot mine KDA when they're ASIC miners. That's what's cool about GPU mining, is you can mine this, and this. But eventually people build ASIC miners, and then they overpower these GPUs, and it's just basically a waste of time and electricity to try to mine those coins. So I'm going to stick with it, have a blast, have fun, and regardless of market conditions, I'm going to keep pushing forward. And year over year on average, cryptocurrencies continue to go up. And after every bear market is a bull market, your boy's going to be there. I hope you're there too. So that's all I got today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Let me know if there's any specific coins or miners or whatever you want us to break down, or really what you want us to cover next. Seriously, the channel's nothing without you. So thanks for tuning in, and have a good one.